Today on the Let's Talk Live podcast, we are going to talk about idiots that take selfies in historically tragic locations, the Tinder Swindler, and internet scammers. Primo, what's up, man? How are you?
What's up? What's going down?
Hey, man, I am recovering.
You sound awful.
It was terrible, man. Over this past week, I was so sick. I went in, did all the recommended testing, all that stuff, all came back negative. So my
Oh, good.
doctor said just maybe a sinus infection thing. I know
I,
there's
I
other
thought it
things
was
that are going.
between I thought it was between that and eating sandpaper or something, but yeah, I guess
Sandpaper.
negative is better than that. So
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of eating, hey, I started the Nutrisystem's diet or the diet plan.
sweet.
I've been on that just over the past 2 weeks
How,
now.
how
I am
much we
down.
losing?
I'm down officially 10.2.
No.
And yes, the 0.2 pounds
Yep.
does matter.
A 0.2 is
10,
water weight.
yeah,
You can still
10.2
be proud
pounds.
of that though.
Yeah,
Drink
yeah.
more water. Be hydrated, man. Flow. Go with the flow.
Go with the flow. But yeah, I'm down 10.2 pounds.
Nice.
Been great journey. Been just basically following their basic plan. I've deviated a little bit from it, but cutting all the sugar and the soda and all that stuff out.
Yeah. What's a little
Um,
Twinkie between friends? It's all good.
Whatever. You just do what you need to do.
Right.
But
Mhm.
yeah. So anyway, feeling good. Besides this cold I've
Yeah.
had, and hopefully I shake this out in the next week or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been feeling good and a little bit more confidence. Went out, bought some new clothes, and I said I'm going to gussy myself up. It's been 2 years, kind of locked in the home here, the home confinement,
Yeah.
and I said, you know what, I'm going to get back and start trying to do some dating. So I signed up for a couple of the dating apps.
Ooh,
What is it,
nice.
Bumble and Tinder,
Yeah,
and
Tinder, yes.
yeah,
Swipe left. I'm telling
yeah,
you just
swipe
ahead of
left.
time.
Yeah, so I've been on there, and it's funny because I'm signing up and doing my profile and putting my pictures up, and I'm starting to think of myself, and I'm like, a couple of years ago, well, many years ago when I did this, maybe seven or so years ago, I remember swiping through and actually seeing people that went to like historically tragic places like the 9/11 memorial, and they would post fucking selfies.
It's
Like,
the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, why would you
who
do that?
are you? Who
Yeah.
wants to see that? A
Dude, it's
fucking
clout level 10. Like, what the heck are you trying to do?
I mean,
Uh,
do you have no, like, absolutely no concept of what happened there?
no.
Oh, only 3,000 people tragically died and burned to death there.
No, it's
Uh,
not like the worst thing since it was Pearl Harbor, I think is effectively number one. And then 9/11 is, I think, number two, or I'm sure there's some stuff in there for America in the middle, but in the same respect, like the most televised tragic thing ever done in the world. But hey, you know what? It's good for Instagram. So whatever.
well, no, the dating app, it's good for the profile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like who are you?
Mhm.
And I fucking would sit there and I'm like, please just match with me so I can fucking cuss you out and be
All
like,
right.
who the fuck are you? Take that down. Like
Oh
who?
yeah.
What? Like, can you not have
Yeah.
any concept of what happened there? And it's crazy. I was reading an article actually while I was sick and kind of putting this material together for the program. It was like, not only have people done it there, they've done it at other historical like
Oh, they
places.
they did it. What is it? Auschwitz. There was some lady that I saw that had it, and like, and I believe it was a Tinder photo, and she's picking up the dirt, and I'm like, this is where people were burnt. Like, I don't even want like in the train tracks. She's standing on the train tracks, and she's using this as her picture. Like, oh my
There was
god.
that, and there was actually, I think, a UFC fighter with his
Mhm.
girlfriend that was there that was posting. I think it was either to Instagram or Twitter, and they were
Yeah.
posting pictures of like them smiling at the gates of Auschwitz. Like who? Like what the fuck? Who
You
are
couldn't
you?
you couldn't pay me to do it. Like you could just be like, "Hey, we're going to do this for some like what is it? What's that guy? Ron Paul or whatever? Not Ron Paul. Who's the guy that does the YouTube videos? You know what I'm talking about. But
Yeah,
he
yeah.
did the pictures in there like and he did that stuff for a stunt. And I'm like, I couldn't even do it as a stunt,
Oh,
man.
Jake
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 Paul,
Paul.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
I
I
mean,
couldn't do it, man.
he did the what was it? The Japan Suicide Forest, which is
Yes, right.
disgusting. And they actually saw a dead body there, and they
Yeah.
filmed it. And I don't think that video's up online, but I
No,
mean,
they
that
took it
obviously,
down. Yeah.
yeah, it went viral, and it's just
Mhm.
poor fucking taste. Like, come on, man.
I
Like,
mean,
like, and the thing that's even crazier about this too is kind of reading and diving into. Not only do people do this shit, but you actually do Yelp check-ins to these places as well too. Like, come on, man. Like, what the fuck? You
I
know?
can't. What, are you leaving a review? Like, what is it? Five, like, what, 1 star? I mean, come on, guys. Dude, who puts a star? There's, you know what? All the stuff that they take down online. You think, how did that get through the censor? And somebody, but yeah, that's fine. Ding. Like, you keep going.
Yeah,
Uh,
I can't have my opinion on a political view, but yet they allow
right,
people to check into historically tragic places and leave
right.
reviews or take selfies. And I'll be honest with you, if I was at the 9/11 memorial and I was down there and I saw someone taking I would literally walk around and slap everybody's fucking camera out of their hand. Like, what are you doing? And
Yeah.
probably I'm guessing that there's been a lot of shit, over the last couple of years, and they probably have people that walk around now and say
Oh yeah. Well, hey, I warned you ahead of time. Swipe left, bro. Just say,
that.
hey, look, there's that one. Shoo. Yep, you do it.
Right.
You do you, buddy. So yeah, I'd rather
Dude,
be single.
speaking of swiping left and swiping right, did you catch the Tinder Swindler on Netflix? Have you seen that yet?
I actually, it was I think number one or number two on my Netflix list, and I definitely viewed. And I'm all into that kind of stuff. Like it's basically like anything where you catch a bad guy kind of thing. So yeah, I tuned into that, watched the whole thing, hour and 57 minutes, and definitely was worth my time.
Yeah, it's super interesting, and it was like at first I kind of was like, I'm not really, I don't know, but then I started hearing a lot of hype. People were watching it, and I said, you know what, I'll sit down and give it a try. I had time over this week because I was sick, so I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a try, and holy shit,
Right.
the I mean, there's so many different levels in that went into this. You had the women first, okay, that
Mhm.
obviously got duped by this guy.
Right.
And anyway, just to give some context if people haven't seen this. So
Right. Right.
basically,
Yeah.
it was a guy over overseas, and he was basically faking his lifestyle, saying that he was a billionaire, and using, I think, one of the biggest diamond dealers out of like New York.
He's yeah, he used the name Simon LeVay, and I'm
Right.
hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. But the real guy that's based on he based it on his father is the King of Diamonds. So he was
Yeah.
actually using the King of Diamonds real website as his website. So sending people to that website to kind of say, I have
I'm in
credibility
with
as a
family,
dating
right?
thing, but it was all just it was a big con. It was a big scheme.
Yeah, and it was crazy because it not only was it a con, it became like a pyramid or a Ponzi
It was a
scheme.
Ponzi scheme. Yeah.
So basically, what he was doing, if people haven't seen this, was
Yeah.
he
A
was
little
going
bit of
on Tinder.
spoiler alert here. So yeah,
Yeah,
but it's all good.
spoiler. I'm sure people by now this podcast comes have
Yeah, I
seen it,
hope
but
so.
anyway, so what he was doing was setting up a Tinder profile. He would go on there and post all these like luxurious photos of him, like overlooking the beach or on a private plane or having dinners in a five-star hotel. And he would connect with a woman, have a conversation with her, and then immediately be like, hey, I'm flying to Dubai tomorrow.
Right.
Come meet me right now.
Yep.
Okay. And these women were falling for it. I'm a billionaire, this and that.
Yeah.
And he would take video with them and whatever. It was just crazy. And
Yeah.
not only was he doing to one, he was doing to many, many women. But
Right.
as we got more involved, he started like halfway into the relationship, maybe like a month or two, he started saying, hey, my credit cards aren't working. I need to get some money, but don't worry, I'm going to wire in some money to you.
Yeah.
If you could just give me $10,000 or give me access to your credit card.
Well,
Um,
worst, he was saying he was a target. So he was saying that I'm
right.
I'm I'm part of this big diamond thing, and these guys wanted to beat me up, and he had scars on his back. So he's like really leading into this story hard. So when he
Crazy.
called up and said I was attacked and my security guard was beaten up, he was using the same pictures for each girl. And here we are getting beat up. I'm stuck out here. I have no ability to get my money. And oh yeah, so finish that up, man.
Yeah. So it's like, so then he'd be like, oh, my credit cards are shut down. I
Right.
can't be traceable. Can I just use? And these women were giving him access to their credit cards and their bank accounts and taking loans out and money. Anyway, basically what he was doing was he was shell gaming all these women and their money to live his lifestyle,
And we're
which was
talking hundreds of thousands
hundreds
of
of
dollars.
thousands of dollars. I think at the end of it, they said he might have taken just, I think,
10 million.
it was like 10 million between
Yep.
the 3 or 4 women that they interviewed.
And the worst
Insane.
part was this wasn't his first go either. The one that he got from this man, he had actually gotten out in 2015
Mhm.
from doing this already. So he's already gotten out of jail and he doesn't learn anything. He goes right back to doing it again. And it's
Yeah,
the same thing.
I think he did 9 months or something,
Yep.
a skid bid basically on his first go
Mhm.
around.
Right.
But anyway, it gets very interesting because then a couple of these women actually start connecting and they start figuring out what's going on, and they end up going to like one of the biggest overseas tabloids, and that tabloid starts blowing this story up because they
Yep.
obviously they want to make a story, and two, they want to catch this guy because he's scamming all these women this money, and they're starting to think like, hey, we're probably not the only ones here. And then come to find out as the dominoes fall, I mean, he's done this to hundreds,
Right.
probably
And
thousands of women.
once this stuff goes out, the women line up. And the thing is it's not like a lot of people say somebody gets big and once you have money, everybody lines up to get you. These women were coming forward and they were all credible. Like all of them had matches. They had the stuff. One lady is able to show how she can track him down.
Yeah.
Like it was getting real. And that's the thing. And the cops were saying one of the big reasons why the women were involved in it was because the cops were like, well, we know he's doing it. We just can't find him. And this girl is like, I'll find him. And sure enough, like, oh yeah, let's WhatsApp on my phone. And 2 minutes later, she's out there. She's going to hook up with him. And the other women are filming it from behind. And it's like, there it is. There's the dude. And he's with another woman too, on top of it. Like, come on.
Yeah, he's with another woman using their money to entertain that woman.
Right.
So bottom line, anyway, they end up getting to some certain place, and the cops actually end up catching up to him, and they get him on, I think, just like a forged passport, not even the robbery charges.
No,
not even
got on a passport.
Have all this evidence on him.
Yeah. And one of the girls, by the way, are the ones that turned him in. So she knew he was going on the plane and knew what name he was going to use. And that's how they found him.
They get him. I think he ends up going to trial or court or whatever and does like what, 3 to 6 months.
He was supposed to do 15 months and then COVID hit and he did, 5 months and he was out again. And so now you go back to his Instagram. And everybody's supposed to be like, okay, this guy's suffering. At the end of it, he's like, this lady sells all this stuff. He says he's the king of the is it king of the homeless? I think it was. So
Something
he's like
that, yeah.
Right. He's like, I'm the king of the homeless. Then all of a sudden he gets out of jail. He goes back he's from Israel. So he goes back to Israel. And now he's getting pictures again in Bentleys.
Right back at it.
He's got to be doing it again.
Now he's with some Brazilian model or something like that, back driving Lamborghinis.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy's just out scot-free, and it sucks because these women, it's weird. It's like this documentary just pulls back and forth. It's like, one, I had a couple of things on it. One, how could you be so stupid? Okay. Mm-hmm. Two, how is this guy not in prison?
That was my question. Right.
Three, how is this guy back out scamming again? 4, going back to the girl, this was great because there was a point in the documentary when he's like, I have no money, I'm poor, I'm living in 1-star hostels.
Yeah.
This girl's like, I'll come to you. Give me some of your clothes and I'll sell it, because this guy was wearing Gucci and Versace, and she takes his stuff, starts selling it on eBay.
It's awesome.
And takes the money.
Yep.
Not that it added up to anything that she gave him, but she still gets some kind of retribution out of it. Yeah. And I don't know, it's just crazy. Like, and then at the end of it, one of the girls, they look at her at the end of the documentary and go, are you back on Tinder? And she goes, yeah, I'm
right back on Tinder. So the thing is the thing that this is what I would suggest, because I don't want people to judge, because I never want to judge a victim. A victim is a victim.
Absolutely.
You don't have, and the thing is because, and there's times when I've been a victim, and I'll go into that at some point in the future. Right. But the thing is I've had something pretty much worse than what's happened to them happen to me. And one of the things that you do as survivors is you have to say to yourself, you don't have a right to be a victim. You don't have a right to feel bad for somebody that hurt you. And this one girl was talking about suicide because somebody else hurt. You can't live that way. You just don't do it. But the thing is I want people to watch it because people think it's so like that would never happen to me. And you think about some of these guys that have been scammed and people have been hurt by sociopaths, and it really is these sociopaths. They have some things that you don't understand their weapons, and they're good at it. They think that hurting you is they're helping you by hurting you. They're think that they're building you up. So my thing is watch these things and watch that movie, and then what you're going to learn is what games they play and how. For instance, this woman says, "I caught you red-handed." She knows it, and he doesn't come back and go, "Hey, you caught me, you do it." He threatens her. He's like, you know what? If you tell everybody that I was that person because I'm not that person, I'm going to make you regret it, and literally threatened her life. Mm-hmm. Like, can you imagine the audacity of somebody that stole $260,000 from you? Then when you catch him, tells you that if you tell anybody that was him, that he's not only going to sue you, but he says you're going to have to pay for that. That is the kind of evil that we're dealing with here.
Yeah, and I mean, he had it all set up too because he had his like little entourage with him, and that that guy that was supposedly playing his bodyguard,
Peter, yep,
huge man.
Yeah,
and it's
big
like,
Russian dude.
That guy starts mentally threatening you. Not essentially saying I'm going to kill you, but you will pay,
right,
and I will find out a way to make you pay. Mm-hmm. The only thing that's going to go through your mind at that point is the fucking guy that he has next to him that's about 300 pounds of muscle,
right?
And you don't know what these guys are going to do.
And that's the thing too, is at the beginning, the first lady that's being conned goes out on this plane and is in the plane, and all of a sudden he walks. Yeah, but the other thing is, notice that the first woman is with their kid, and so they find out later that lady was one of the first people once he got out that he scammed. This is somebody that I've already gone through a court case with, and he won the court case, and he somehow got her to come back out on a flight, knowing that they're gonna. And I know they said they didn't, and you know what? It's all, what is it? It's
listen. She was just there for the ride too, man.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that level of manipulation that they can get her to go. You're a victim. You're a victim. You sued the guy and won, and now he's got you back on a plane. That's. Sorry, say the word allegedly. I don't know how much of this is actually done in court or whatnot, so we'll say allegedly. But the idea that you've had somebody, a pre-done victim that knew they were a victim, and get them to come in on your thing again. Why would you ever do that? It's the manipulation that people don't realize. You're in it, and now it's like, oh crap, what do I do? And they now that lady was like, I'm helping because that's how I'm going to help. And you got to learn to see this stuff. You know what I mean?
Real quick before we go on to the third subject, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
You think these girls were a little bit of gold diggers too? I mean, just to jump on a private jet with a guy in 30 minutes and fly across to wherever. You could be kidnapped, you could be raped, you could be whatever.
And I have it in, so I don't want to use the word gold digger. What I want to do is that if you'll notice something that she said in the beginning, she said her favorite movie was Beauty and the Beast. Okay. And what we don't realize is that we are factioning our relationships based on these unrealistic ideals of love.
Fantasy.
It's a fantasy. It's not real. So we still, I mean, and I'm not saying that every woman feels this way. I'm sure there's a lot of people like, my mom, for instance, would be the first person not to fall. She just tell the dude to eat, whatever. That would be life, But the thing is that it really does, not just for women, but for also men, to give you this idea of being, I'm going to be the knight in shining armor and I'm going to save this woman. And the woman says, I'm going to save the guy. And none of that's no, dude, if somebody is watching you while you're asleep, like in the movie Twilight, run. That's just the reality. So if your love levels or whatever are based on the show Twilight or 50 Shades of Grey, you might want to go back and redefine some things so that you make sure you don't because you put yourself in the position of saying, this guy's going to sweep me off my feet. You're already down a grade for saying I'm going to be manipulated. I mean, what is it? Probably 4 and 5. But I mean, if you're a serial killer right now in the internet world, you might as well be like going to an apple picking contest and be like, which tree would you like? You know what I mean? It's horrifying,
it's and it's and the thing is, though, I can kind of see where you're going with that too. Is you have a woman or someone that is wanting a relationship and maybe had some really tough times finding people, and all of a sudden you have this person that's in front of you that is fulfilling the fantasy in your head of
right.
what you want, of a movie. It's almost like a movie or a story, a storybook.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're on this ride and you're like, how the fuck am I here right now? And
Right.
I can get
I'm
it.
on
You're
a
probably
jet, man. I'm on a jet.
a little swept up on that, I guess. But
Right.
for me, I think there would be some things in the back of my mind kind of going
Well, we
on.
hope.
Like, oh, no.
And the thing is think about this, and I hate to say it like this, but everybody has a price. Think about what you're looking for in your relationship.
$1 million man.
There you go. Are you really looking?
Good laugh, right?
That was a good one. But yeah, that was the thing is everybody has, like, especially people are down, people who are desperate, people who like the world is falling apart and I need somebody to save me. Let's say you had the last 4 relationships you had really beat you up so badly. You're looking for any out. And that's the problem is once you're desperate and you have nothing, you really like any ham sandwich will do. So the thing is what's your price? And that really is it. And maybe it is that woman that comes into your life and says, hey, I got $1 million and all I need to do is jump on this thing. I've known people, I wish I could name this relationship, but it would be bad form to show it on it. But I know a guy that they were a rich family. The lady didn't like her husband. She said, hey, I need a boy toy. He was working on her house. And my friend was the one that was working on the house. I'm like, dude, do not do this. That guy has so much money. He could kill you in your sleep. And that would be that. But he got into it. And sure enough, they ended up in a divorce with the girl. And he's like, oh yeah, we're going to have a future relationship. Once she divorces him, she gets 50% and she keeps getting money over and over again until she marries your poor butt. So I'm sorry. You were a boy toy, deal with it. That's life. And he was too young. He was just having fun. So I guess for him, I mean, she bought him a Jeep and all this crap. So you know what, for him, like, what's wrong with it? Sometimes it does work. But like I said, everybody has a price, and hopefully it's not a ham sandwich. Hopefully it is like, hey, I need somebody that's actually going to be an investment in my life that I get a return. But like I said, I want to be with somebody that both helps build me up and I can help them build themselves up.
Right.
And it's not based on the idea that she's desperate for me kind of thing. So, but yeah, that's the thing is you have to have those defenses up all the time.
So if I text you next week that I can't make this show and I'm on a plane somewhere,
we're doing the show from the plane. No, we're doing it from the plane with the girl. I don't care. It's happening. She can be on the show too. We'll put her in a third screen. She can be the first guest. I'm good with that, but it's no. I'm holding you to it.
I don't think that's gonna happen, but if it does, call the police.
Swipe left.
Internet scammers, YouTube scammers.
Well,
what do you got on that, man?
Yeah, that's the thing is so I'm watching this Tinder Swindler thing.
Right.
And the reason that it really piqued my interest was because I've been watching, there's a couple of dudes out there called Jim Browning. There's Pierogi. Pierogi right now is probably one of the most watched shows, and he is a scam baiter. So what he does is people will send him stuff like internet scams. You get that email that says, your McAfee is new. You're like, I never had McAfee. What is this? So you click on it and it promises a refund or something.
They'll take the virus out if they give you access to the computer.
Exactly. That was pop-ups that they pay for. Right. So he gives these guys a call, and come to find out, a lot of them, like most of the tech stuff is from Nigeria. The guys are stealing your Instagram is from Nigeria. And then a lot of the guys that do the phone calls are from India. Sure. So these guys IP watch them, and then they hack their computers. They go in, some of them delete accounts from them. But they just basically harass these guys that are scammers and set them up. And one of the things, big guy right now, Mark Robert, if you've ever seen him, he used to work for NASA, I believe. He did all this engineering stuff. Well, he made this thing called the glitter bomb. If you haven't had a chance to see it, definitely want to check it out. Okay. And so he sends this glitter bomb thing to the money mules that are supposed to be getting the money. And that sprays glitter all over these guys. So they're supposed to be getting $30,000. Now they're getting a glitter bomb. And the best one is the lady was a money mule. She gets it. She was actually on probation. So she's a money mule while on probation. This glitter bomb explodes on her. She gets pulled over 10 seconds later, and here's the cop, and she's like, well, I was just stopping by to see what I thought this was the wrong address. She's covered in glitter. Like, how do you deny this? Like, you're busted.
So what does he
But
put, like a little camera in the box or something
there's
that
there's 3 or 4. So the camera all around, so it's a square.
Right.
So when they pull the box off, the cameras do the filming. There's a thing that plays Home Alone. She's like, something, you idiots, the one from the film. So, and then the other thing is it sprays fart smell. So it rolls around, it smells. So these guys are covered in the glitter. The glitter comes out the top.
You
The
smell
fart
like
smell
farts.
starts playing, and they're filming it, and they have trackers so they can track it down. So the people are getting rid of it, they can pick it back up. But that's the thing is I was like, here's your glitter. I think my camera just died. But here's your glitter bomb chance to send this dude in freaking over here and have it go. So it is what it is. But yeah,
I've seen before is there's a guy, and I don't know, I can't think of the name of the channel, but he does the when people call and they're like, hey, we're calling from McAfee or whatever, you've had some viruses in your computer, and he's like, we need access to computer to fix this.
That's
if you
exactly
give us
right.
$20, we go. So what he does is he creates a fake program. So when they go in, they think they're actually into his computer, but it's actually a program he makes. And then what he'll do is he's even smart enough where he can actually get access to their camera, so he can film them the whole time too.
Yeah.
And what he'll do is they'll go, well, we need access to your bank account, and he'll make it look like he's giving access to their bank account. And he'll say, all right, I'm going to transfer the $100 or $5,000 to your account. He'll transfer it over, and then he'll act like he took 20,000 from their account, and they're all like on the camera, like, what the fuck? And then obviously he lets the cat out of the bag and says, you guys are fucking scammers, and I'm exposing you. And good for him.
But what I find crazy about this, so these guys have these shows, and then they play back because they're obviously in the computer systems of the scammers, and to hear how these dudes are monsters. Like there's a guy one time that's falling apart, and they're yelling at him to go get cash cards because he supposedly stole money from them. And the monstrous part of what they're doing that really is just they're just heartless in the stuff that they'll do. And the problem is that so the people that like we're in the right age group to watch YouTube and see this stuff and really know what's going on. But I think it's still a learning curve of seeing what monsters will do to get what they want. But the real targets they target are these 65 plus people who are, and I don't want to say more susceptible, but the idea they're not tech savvy. They don't know certain things. Like they see McAfee or billed to Amazon. So they're like, I didn't pay for that. I need a refund. But instead of calling actual Amazon, they click on the link in the email and now they're done. Like the guys have them and they're stuck in it. And it's painful because now you see them hurting,
It's like the old gas man or telephone man scams, when people used to go around and knock door to door, and they would say, if you change your plan, you give me a check for $50 or whatever, I can save you $100, a year, or whatever.
I'll use some of this extra tar to tar your driveway and this gravel in 3 weeks. Yeah. It's all different. Well, my mom got scammed recently by a place, and I wish I could remember the name because I wouldn't have any problem saying them. But these people stopped by, told her they were going to fix her chimney. They put a little bit of tar on it. We did the thing, and they sent her a bill for $10,000. And I'm like, you could have a new chimney for $10,000. Like, there's no way. So we sent the lawyer after them to go do the stuff. But if you look at their stuff, they don't have a base of operations. The building that they're saying is theirs says no vacancy on it. Like they're not even there anymore. Like, and this stuff is if you don't call the person to ask them for that service, don't bother saying yes to them because they're it's some kind of scam. It's some kind of setup. The only people that are showing up and working on your place or doing something with you is people that you called. And 9 times out of 10, you get an email, it's junk. So,
yeah. I mean, so I guess the lesson here, and, just do your due diligence, do your background checking. If anything seems out of sorts, it probably is. If you're not expecting a call or a bill or something from one of these prominent companies that we deal with.
Yeah.
It's a scam. Someone comes around to your house knocking, looking for the owner,
Right.
talking about saving money or something. It's probably a scam. So do
And then watch the Tinder Swindler and watch some of these guys that are, scam baiters and junk like that. And that's the thing is you'll start to learn to hear what these, and I'm going to say it, the sociopathic mind can do to people, and do it heartlessly. They don't have any feeling. They think that you deserve what you get. And it's incredible. So,
dude, we live in a crazy, crazy world. And especially with the internet now, I mean, just thinking about, what it was back in, 1995 and what it is now. It's crazy. And where, people are more susceptible. We're getting more access to things. Companies and people are wanting more access to our devices. So, like I said, I mean, the lesson here is do due diligence, make sure you're protecting yourself. Don't give your passwords or anything out to anybody.
And make sure you have a good Tinder cover picture.
And have a good one. Tinder cover. Don't take pictures at the 9/11 memorial, because I will slap you in the fucking head.
Yeah. And you want Brian to swipe right. I know it may not seem that way, but I'm telling you right now, you guys are missing a catch right here if you're not setting your Tinder up right.
I'm single, ladies, reach out to me. But anyway, I think this is going to probably close down this episode for today. My main man, Primo, over here is the co-host. Thank you so much. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for hanging out with us. Oh, before we leave, make sure to like, subscribe, and smash the like button, comment, all that fun stuff. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.